So at this point, you should have a product, and make sure your product speaks to a deep pain, a type of pain someone deals with every single day, an insecurity, an actual physical type of pain, or it elevates the core experience of a niche passionate community. So please make sure you already have a good product. It should already be ready to go with a validated competitor in the market space, proven that they are able to scale it. So at this point, we're going to start off by just doing our kind of scraping on Google Gemini. So Google Gemini, I actually do believe you are able to create a pro account for free, and it's free. It's $0 for 1 month. So the way I understand it is you can just keep cycling through and creating new Gemini accounts if you are really cheap and don't want to spend a ton of money. And I totally get it, right? Why would you add another monthly subscription for a tool you're going to use one time? But I do recommend you use Google Gemini. If there's an alternative out there, feel free. The main premise here is to be able to do deep research and scrape Reddit forums, Facebook groups, Quora forums. So until another AI tool comes out there that does this, Google Gemini just makes the most sense. After all, they do have the entire database of Google. So what you're going to do is create an account. Upgrade to the pro plan. I believe, again, it's $0 for a month. So you can just do that. And then you're going to go here and you're going to go to Google Gemini. You're going to transfer this over to deep research. You're going to make sure you're on pro model. And then you're going to go over to the document here and you're going to go under Gemini scraper. And on this document, it explains what to do, right? So step 1, fill in part A, your inputs below. Then step 2, open Google Gemini, start a new conversation. Step 3, copy the complete prompt from part B, include your filled in answers and paste it into Google Gemini. Step 4, wait for the full output. Gemini will scrape multiple sources. It might take a few minutes, and then we can go from there. So if you're ever lost, confused, or need some help, there you go. And then there's always the terms and everything that's going to address if you need help. So this is really simple. Also, it's going to explain which forms it's going to try to scrape: Amazon, Reddit, Facebook groups, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Quora, competitor websites, competitor reviews on their websites, peer-reviewed articles, so any academic or clinical studies, and then Google Trends as well. So this is part A. This is going to tell you what you need to put into the Google Gemini prompt. So A1 is a website URL. So if you have your website, use that. If you don't, use a competitor's. That's pretty close to what you're going to mimic yours. Product description. Try to be as detail-oriented as possible when it comes to this. The more clear and more concise Gemini has on your product, it's later going to help you create unique mechanisms to allow you to stand out versus your competition. Target audience, target country rather. So this is where you can pick one of the top 4 countries. I highly recommend you stay in the top 4 when you're doing your first set of ad launches. Don't go to Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland, Sweden. I understand you may be from those countries and know the market well. Just understand, though, that those countries are not competitive for a reason, though. The buying intent isn't as high, especially when we're talking about launching a new campaign and trying to get out of the testing phase as quickly as possible. Now, after you've warmed up your account, you got a ton of sales and you're out of testing phase, you can always go back to those other countries down the line. But to get out of testing, which requires high buying intent leads, I highly recommend you start off your first campaign targeting one of these 4 major countries. Only one, but target one of these 4, and you can always go back in your research and recreate new copy and new prompts if you need to. But that's my recommendation. Product category, this is just going to help narrow down the search again and make it really easy for Gemini to do the research. And these are optional fields, totally up to you, but the more information you provide, the better results you're gonna get. Any competitor brands, if you don't know any competitor brands off the top of your head, Google Gemini will scrape for you. Any communities on Reddit, on Quora, any Facebook groups, if you know any, that would be great too. But again, if you don't, Google Gemini will do it for you. And then, is this a new or established category? Is this something that just started happening out of nowhere, or has this been around for some time? And then if you have any existing customer feedback or anything like that that you want to specifically add into the prompting, add it in. Again, it's optional though. None of this stuff under optional, you have to fill out. Google Gemini will figure it out for you. But obviously, if you want to point it in a direction, this is where you can do that. All right, so from there, part B is actually the prompt itself. This is what we're going to tell Google Gemini what to do. So as you can see, the inputs that we're going to need to add in are the same ones I just reviewed. And as you can see, it's a lot of just coding and stuff like that and a lot of jargon. If you want to, you can read through it and understand it. But basically, we're going to just scrape as much information as possible. So step 1 of this process is to literally just scroll here and copy everything here. So I'm just going to copy this, hit copy. I'm going to go over to Google Gemini. Remember to make sure deep research is on and make sure you're on pro mode here. Okay, and then paste that in. We're gonna hit this full screen icon that pulls up the full screen. And then from here, under where it says inputs, this is where you put your input. So the first input is your website URL. Oh, accidentally scroll back down. So we're just gonna remove that. And I'm using this person's brand here. So throw that bad boy in. Description, again, we wanna make sure we have a good description here. So I'm gonna quickly look and see if these guys have a decent description of their product I can easily just copy. So here we go. This is already something that we're going to need for our mechanism, right? What makes eSkin different? Carbon fiber layer. So blocks rust, dirt, and microplastic debris. Okay, so that's a mental note I'm going to circle back to. So if you're ever confused or lost or anything like that, this is where I would use ChatGPT or Claude. You can use ChatGPT or Claude, either one. Since ChatGPT is like relatively easy to use and free, I'm going to use ChatGPT for this example, but I'm going to tell it, review this website and highlight the key elements and factors that make it different, unique, and provide a nice 2 to 4 sentence description of this product, which is a shower head filter. Be sure to gather all the important detail about how it works and why it's special. So sometimes certain products and niches, especially newer products, maybe you're finding something that's a little bit okay. So this is one thing I hate that ChatGPT does. It's giving me all this nonsense. I didn't want this. I literally said 2 to 4 sentence description. So here we go. Let's slap around the AI a little bit. Hey, dumbass, I said a 2 to 4 sentence description. Instead, you gave me all this nonsense. Okay, so here's a 2 to 4 sentence description, by the way. So I'm getting all upset when really I should just have waited. So handheld shower filter and multi-stage filtration system designed to remove chlorine heavy. I didn't want all the nonsense, but I mean, fine, whatever. Heavy metals and impurities from your water, transferring harsh trap water into gentle skin-friendly experience. I soften water while maintaining strong pressure. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. I only want the description. I didn't need the entire breakdown above. Also, I noticed you didn't mention anything about the material and how it helps what does it help do? Blocks rust and dirt. Material and how it blocks rust, dirt, and microplastics. All right. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Why is it giving me the links here? I didn't want the links. Built into BPA free. Okay, good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll have a separate section breaking down the product in detail, but I like to be very specific on these descriptions early on so it understands how we're different. Target countries, United States. Target category, give me a 1 to 2 sentence word or phrase that describes this category. Nothing else. Gotta be really clear with it. Okay, filter shower head system. Okay, good enough. So that's going to be for the product category. Product competitors. So give me 2 to 3 top competitors selling this same or similar product. Just name them and provide their website. So I believe Jolie is going to be one brand. Jolie shower head for sure. Yep, Jolie. And then, okay, perfect. So we're going to just copy their names here. Jolie for competitor brands. So boom. And the reason why I don't want to hear a bunch of nonsense from ChatGPT is because it goes into all these like detailed stuff and I don't really care. Okay, so this is another one, get canopy. But if you wanted to hear like a breakdown, feel free. If you wanted to have this entire like explanation about the product, feel free. That helps. You should have a really good understanding of your product though. Make sure you have a good understanding of it. So I recommend at least 2 competitors. I just did 3 here, so that was easy. Known communities. I don't know. I'm not going to spend any time going through the communities. Category type. I'm not going, I mean, AI will figure that out, and existing customer feedback, AI will figure out that as well. So that's all you really need to do. So just make sure you have your website, your product description, the country you want to advertise to, the category, just a basic 2 to 3 word category description, at least 2 to 3 competitors, and then that's it. Everything else is optional. You don't have to fill out the other stuff if you don't want to. As you can see, the prompt is going to source through competitor, Amazon, Reddit, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, core, competitor review websites, Google Trends, peer-reviewed sources. So it's going to do all the scraping for you. So we're going to hit submit on this. And then Google Gemini is just going to do a quick breakdown, verify that we want everything we want. We're going to then go through, review the document briefly, talk about some things to highlight and pay close attention to. And then we'll wrap up this training and move on to the next one. I'm trying to make these bite sizes and easy to follow. So give it a second here. It should pull up a prompt question. The more complex and the more detail-oriented your product is, the longer this is going to take. But anyway, we're going to hit start research. And this I've seen take up as much as 5-8 minutes even. I had one time I was doing it for a skincare product, and it took me like 15 minutes. So this can take some time, depending on how good your internet and computer speed is. But overall, it's going to be scouring a lot of information. So I am personally going to go take a break, go get some snacks or whatever, and we'll come back and review the finalized documentation here. And just to re-emphasize, by the way, if you are using a different AI tool, that's totally fine. As long as you can do the same things that I'm asking you to do with these AI tools, you're good to go. So if you want to use Perplexity or another AI tool, I'm sure there are others out there that allow you to scrape and stuff like that. I know Google Gemini is the best at doing it, so that's why I recommend it. But if you come across one that you want to do, go right ahead. Additionally, I know a lot of people like to ask about manual research. Alex, should I be doing manual research to create my copy? It's definitely an option for you, sure. I think initially, like, these prompts are really good. But if you need to do manual research, Google Gemini will scrape all the forms and resources that it recommends and actually scrapes and goes through, and then you can just go through and read it on your own. So do whatever you need to do to create the best copy that works and aligns best for you. All right, so now that you have your report done, what you can do is hit export to documents here, and then this will allow you to pull up a separate document and have this stored. Then we'll download this as a PDF and transfer this over to Claude. It's important, though, that you read up on the documents. Do you have to read every single line by line? Maybe not, but I'm going to show you a couple things that I like to quickly go through and just get a good understanding of. So remember, the product in question here is this shower head from, not these brands here, but from this brand specifically, eSkin. So a couple things I'm just going to understand and try to break down is I'm going to just read this intelligence report, kind of see where we are with the market as a whole. This is just going to give you a quick synopsis of everything that I kind of scraped and read through. This is some of the stuff that I want to pay attention to, though. The following exact verbatim phrases were extracted directly from real humans describing the physical, emotional, and infrastructural problems caused by their unfiltered, municipal, and well water. So my hair became an awful, tangled mess in the shower. Right, and it's going to tell you this is the exact words pulled directly from your target audience, directly from Reddit. My conditioner barely seems to help it. The glass shower door gets those white mineral spots almost instantly. Scalp's been dry and itchy, so we're kind of starting to formulate some ideas and some trends, right? What's happening? We're getting hair, scalp. Hair has that stiff and dull feel no matter what shampoo and conditioner she uses. Skin also has been irritated lately, so we're seeing a lot of scalp, hair, and skin. There's chlorine smell when the shower first kicks on. Super dry skin and dandruff, greasy. So I'm going to read through this and hear exactly verbatim, because again, the whole goal here is to create copy that sounds and feels like someone that we're speaking to is experiencing it and sharing the results as well. So that's one thing I'm going to pay attention to. The following exact verbatim phrases describe the desired end state, the emotional relief, and the physical transformations the market is actively seeking. These phrases articulate the mass desire that drives purchasing behavior in the category. So the answers to the test is here, guys. The answers to the test is here. This is where your target audience is right now, and the pain that they're dealing with right now, and this is where they want to be. So they want better skin, hair, and well-being. Totally healed and transformed within a week, right? So this is testimonials coming from your competitors. Psoriasis is not flaring up, not falling out in clumps anymore. So they're referring to their hair, much less tangled and smooth. So this is what your competition, that's what they're promising, and that's what people are getting. And they're saying and describing in their own words what their end transformation is. Extremely painful cyst acne was 95% cured. So you notice how no one is saying, this was easy to set up. Right? Installing the shower head was easy. I like the way the shower head complements the bathroom environment. No, it's all emotional transformations that actually made a difference in that person's life. Fewer and less dramatic breakouts, less itchy. My hair and skin have never looked better, right? So we're hearing directly from multiple sources of what the end result of your target audience is. And then AI is going to kind of break down what the overall end game is. And as we scroll here, brand solution, luxury topical shampoos, categorical failure mode, verbatim customer complaint evidence. So this is just going to break down like different competitors in the space, why they've like failed or succeeded. The drinking water, double standard. So now you can read up some more like topics and angles and stuff like that. So you can see Jolie Skin, core claim and unique mechanism, removes chlorine and heavy metals, positioning angle, beauty, strongest testimonial language, most common complaint, high pricing per customer service. Okay. The competitor analysis. So it's going to break down your competitors for you. Then it's going to start to get into the TAM, total addressable market. This is something you'll hear us a lot talk about. Actually, before even going to that, we skip a couple things here. So Google Trends and data and digital search insight. So overall, it seems like shower filters is a steady climb from 2023 to 2025 window and expected to continue to grow 55,000 monthly searches in the United States alone. So that's pretty good. And then other countries is seeing high velocity as well. So that's good. So your estimated Facebook and Meta audience size, so the total addressable market via Meta's digital advertising ecosystem is going to be vastly different, providing immense runway for scalable customer acquisition. So this is going to be Meta's TAM, total addressable market, and then the entire total addressable market will be down here. This is important to understand as well. You got to see what you're up against, right? So market sophistication score is a 3, transition into a 4. So basically, these are people that are somewhat aware and they transition into solution aware. They're aware of the problems and they transition into solution aware. The filtered shower head category is currently situated as solid stage 3, but is rapidly accelerating to stage 4. The market is entirely past stage 1, where simply introducing the concept of a shower filter works. And stage 2, where basic feature expansion isn't sufficient. So basically, what this is saying is people are aware of filtered shower heads, or they're aware of the problem more so, and they're aware that their current shower heads are the problem. Gosh, that was so hard to get out. These people are aware that their shower heads are the problem. They're not aware of the other solutions as well, though. Consumers are now universally solution aware and heavily product aware. So actually, to take that back, they are solution aware and are getting into product aware. They know the solution exists and they're actively comparing the leading brands, Jolie, Canopy, Afina, based on nuanced features like flow rates, aesthetic finishes, specific replacement costs. So actually, yeah, that makes sense actually. So these people are aware of the competitors in your market space. So obviously, this is a loose example. Ideally, you would be picking a product that isn't as competitive, but I just picked this one because there's a ton of different angles and avatars we can go after. But these are the things that you want to pay attention to. Market sophistication is important. Now, AI is going to use scraping details and information to give you a good rough estimation, but don't freak out if you read this and you realize that your product is in a competitive market or whatever. You got to focus on how you can find unique avatars to speak to, because competitive markets just mean that a lot of people like this product and want it. That's not inherently bad. You just got to be a good marketer to bleed through the noise. And then there's the market size, or your total addressable market. So this is a multi-million billion-dollar industry. So we know that there's a ton of demand. Competition level, high but fragmented. The competition landscape is dense but lacks monopolistic control. The market contains legacy, heritage, plumbing titans. So basically, we know about the top brands, but how can we differentiate ourselves? Right, that's gonna be the biggest thing. The market is rapidly growing. Barrier to entry is medium. Opportunity assessment. So it's going to tell you what gaps there should be in the market space. So gap 1, the urban renters handheld dilemma. Gap 2, gap 3. So these are going to be the things we want to pay attention to. How can we enter the market using these gaps, right? These places in the market that no one else is really tackling. And then from here, you're going to get your avatars. So avatars are going to be comprised of description name, demographics, core problem, core desires, specific failed solutions. All right, this is going to be their awareness level, their 5 verbatim phrases that they like to use. This all comprises of one avatar, which makes them unique. And then you get a second avatar, a third avatar, a fourth avatar, and then of course your fifth avatar. All right, so that is the breakdown here. What you're going to do here now is simply just go into Claude. You're going to create a new project here. So we're just going to just go to projects and then hit new project. And then you're going to name this whatever you want to name this. So we'll call this, for this example, filter head, shower head, tutorial. I'm putting tutorial because obviously that's what this is. And then you're going to just go here into documents, hit file, hit file, download PDF. And then you're going to go into Claude and you're going to just have this saved and ready to go. I would recommend putting this into your file section, but I'm going to show you the next step in the next training. We'll see you guys there.